think. Hi, everybody. This is Matt, and I'm joined this evening with Danny and Phil. Danny from Wizards of the Couch, and Phil Stone, our artist extraordinaire, who's going to put together our imagination or depict our weirdest imaginations this evening. And joining us as our special guest this evening is Alyssa Faden, cartographer and miniature. What do we call it? Artist, miniature painter, miniature. How do you
miniature? This big in real life. That's right.
There we go. All right. So there's the there's everybody on live and on stage. So this show, Whose Monster Is It Anyway? We just shoot the shit and figure out a awesome monster to create. And we have had 3 back-to-back hits, in my personal opinion. We had Aether Golem, which was our first shot, and we had Crocobot 2 weeks ago. And then last week was the Eiclis, where we were just debating on how to pronounce it, but the eyeball on top of a tentacle little swarm thing. It was pretty epic if I do say so myself. So we're going to have an uphill battle to top that. But fortunately, we have Alyssa here this evening and some fresh brain power to throw at it. So I think that there will be no problem.
Well, thanks, man. Thanks a lot for that. Like, no pressure. No pressure at all. We just did 3 great shows. And now, Alyssa. Cheers, man.
You're the brain trust.
Oh, turn up the gain on my mic. All right, I will. Geez.
Is that chat? Is chat getting at us with their with their demand?
It's like they want to hear me talk. All right, chat. Is that any better? All hail the Crocobot, Princess Strega. Is that trained professionals? That's right, trained professionals.
Some people can't let go of Crocobot, but I urge them to. Crocobot is in the past now. We all hail Crocobot, but we need to move on to fresher territory.
All right. Fresher territory is right. All right, let's see here. Maybe this will work because they're not having my mic. My mic is apparently sucking.
Your mic sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, it sounds bang on to me too.
Yeah, I can hear you.
But is it bang on, Phil?
We're gonna get him.
We are banging.
All right, is that better? Okay.
It sounds the same to me, and it sounds good.
Low on the stream. Well, a bit. Okay.
So you're saying your stream isn't strong, Matt?
My stream is apparently not very strong.
I know there's medication you can get.
It's palmetto sawdust, isn't it?
Oh boy! So we are off to a raring start. Alyssa, let's talk for a minute. What are you up to right now? What are you just were talking about how some of your projects are behind you for the year. What are you working on now?
Well, right now I'm working on a city map for who are they called? NobleDwarf.com. They're my printers, and they do canvas printing of my maps. So I'm doing a city map for them. But I've just honestly come off like 3 or 4 months of just great projects. You know, we were talking a little bit earlier about like lots of maps. I think we said low quality. I kind of do the inverse, where I think I do like 1 map every 2 months or something. But like the last couple I've done, I've been really, really, really happy with. I mean, I've done the GaryCon map, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever done. And I was hesitant going into it. And before that, the Gaxmoor map, a big, huge city for Luke and Ernest.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was awesome.
And I'm really happy with that one too. So right now we're doing another city. We're kind of flip-flopping from city to dungeon, back to city for Noble Dwarf, and it's going to be in Metropolis. It's going to be a really sexy looking map, I think, by the time we're done. A different scale I would normally do. I'm kind of zooming out a little bit. The buildings are going to be smaller, but I'm drawing it so it can be really big, a big print, super detail. Probably working on that for the next few months.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
That's killer.
You had the, and forgive me, because to me it looked like the British Isles. Was that what was the island you were working on?
Yeah, so for Golden Goblin Press, those are the guys that do a lot of Cthulhu-related stuff, and they're going to be kickstarting Britannia and Beyond here in March. And I drew Britannia, and I guess Beyond, a little bit of Caledonia, a little bit of Hibernia. But I mean, come on. I mean, anyone that knows me knows that I have this fetish for the Romans, and so when they came up and said, "We really want you to do this map," I was like, "Okay, let's do it." So I just got done with that one, and that was a fun project.
Right. Oh, yeah. It looked really cool.
Thank you.
Meeting just for the first time tonight, but I can say that as a fellow Call of Cthulhu GM, I was super impressed that her love of Romans goes all the way to Call of Cthulhu. COC is such a broad-ranging game. Elder Gods mean Elder Gods, right? So every time period. And you're the only person I know who runs that Invictus game. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Oh, and you know, I've got to be honest with you. Part of it is almost like thrust. It's like, hey, you're a Roman girl. So I'm like, okay, so I've got to do a Roman theme, right? But it just fits, man. It just is appropriate, and like, you know, people want to get at the table because it is based in ancient Rome, and it doesn't mean you're playing a Roman necessarily. You can do anything, and it just works. That's the wonderful thing that I love about Call of Cthulhu as a general setting. It's like, it's timeless. You could be in the future on Mars. You could be Gaslight, of course. You could be ancient Rome. You could be medieval, and it just works. I love that about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the entire history of civilization, of our human civilization, is a blink of an eye in the old gods' perception, right? So I mean, it can literally be any time period you want. And
one of the things I love,
you're doing Invictus at GaryCon, right?
I get invited to cons in the capacity of a cartographer, but I'd like to also then at least run a couple of games. So I always run Invictus, and yes, I am running Invictus at GaryCon. I think it's Thursday and Friday mornings.
Yeah, great. We're running. You're streaming one of your games through. Is it Invictus that you're streaming?
That's right. I was waiting for this to be said. Yeah. One of those is in our room where you're streaming it.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Got the whole schedule, trying to wrap my brain around the whole schedule. And I couldn't remember.
I genuinely forgot about that. And now I'm scared. But yes, we'll have fun.
Yeah, that is right. So I think it's Friday morning at 9. Yeah, awesome. Well, I'll get to see it firsthand. That's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that I'm there to help out as well. So no fear.
No fear at all. Phil.
Yes.
What are we thinking? You just said you did a brain dump here earlier. So you got a clean slate. You got anything in mind for this week?
I'm leaving that up to you guys.
I think we should leave it up to Alyssa. Let's. What do you mean?
All right. Well, okay. So I actually do have some ideas to get us going on this, but I don't know if they've been used before. But also, the chat's pretty lively right now. And I think most of the names are people I recognize, and I want to just say thank you to everyone for coming across and joining Wizards of the Couch.
Yeah,
very, very, very much appreciated. I love you all. So I do want to make sure that they get to chime in. Now, here's me. Broad brushstrokes. As a GM, I'm talking about Call of Cthulhu, okay? I am an absolute sucker for undead, spores, molds, fungi, slimes. Those are my things. So if you guys haven't done anything like that yet, I am all about that. It's almost the Shoggoths of this world. The more slimy, fungi it is, the more I love it.
All right. I like it.
What about a slime-spitting fungi?
You're talking my language, sir.
That leaves a trail of spores as it travels down any kind of dungeon.
Yes, exactly.
We're
going to be all-inclusive in this one.
But I think it has to puke some spores forward too, because when you're a tentacle beast that spews spores, there's no safe approach vector.
Nope. It's like
but there's a cloud, right? There's a cloud around it of little spores continually, like the there in the world where if you disturb it, just poof. That's If you breathe it, oh, that's bad.
Right.
It's almost like a Prometheus kind of thing, right?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Maybe that's where the undead factor comes in, because then, like, you remember those there's a fungi that kind of like grows in ants, and it kind of like almost controls them. It kind of sprouts out of them and everything. But think humans.
Yeah, so they had my kids were just watching that video the other day with the.
I'm putting it into Cthulhu Invictus. I'm going to put it in our game.
Yeah, maybe it's something that was discovered in the 1st century BC by Mysophilius the Elder, who is the patron Roman archivist of all fungi and spores.
And he has the scars to prove it.
Yeah, and so there's fluff. There's fluff here. We got to develop the fluff.
Gonna bring the Cool Whip.
You said a lot of words there, and I got Roman out of it. So we'll.
Oh God, no! Don't worry.
All right. Okay. So
it's a fungus. So
like medium size ambulatory plant. Ish, fungi. Like
no, can't be a plant. Not a plant.
Well, I don't know that there's a fungi type. Is there a fungi type?
Maybe it's an aberration.
Ooh, aberration. All right, we did. Okay. All right.
But we've done a lot of aberrations, I guess. I don't know.
No, we did. We did one. We did one last week, but that doesn't mean anything.
Have we done plants? I like plants.
Plants is cool.
Okay. Plants. Is the plant? So the plant's going to infect stuff, but is the plant the real combatant, or is it like are there these humanoids walking around with little planty spikes coming out of their heads like those ants?
I think that's a side effect, right? That's a side effect of getting too close. But I mean, I mean, in my head, it by its very nature of it, just like around. I mean, it's looking to infect. It's looking to infect, to spore people, to propagate, and like living flesh is its soil.
Yeah.
There it is.
God, that's fucking awesome.
I'm sold.
You have to make
I will.
Yeah, if you only knew, Alyssa, how much in simpatico we are right at this moment, I couldn't have prayed for a better choice than a myconid like themed monster. It's just great.
But it's got to have some. It's got to have. So this is a like a myconid race that has been corrupted by the old gods, right? So it's got to have some sort of aberrant looking something or other. What do we think? Like, it's not just a mushroom cap myconid dude, right?
Right. Well, the things I always think of are like sluggish type bodies, snailish type bodies, tentacles, cilia, gills.
Ooh, cilia. Yeah,
Ooh,
like
cilia. Smoking like a true GM. Ooh, cilia. Gonna move that mucus along.
Yeah. What do we got from the chat here? Oh wait, so
And chat, throw in your ideas, throw in your names for this thing, but throw in what it should look like. Okay, come on. This is a collaborative thing here.
I never found Gus very fun, so he can't be a fun Gus. Okay, ha ha ha.
Ooh, unfun Gus.
Unfun.
What if we had a slug?
He's definitely gonna be unfun if you find him, I think. What if we have a what?
Yeah.
What if we had a slimy slug and it had fungus coming out of its body?
Ooh,
It's
like,
got to have fungus coming out. That's like not even.
Well, like how you have
It
a
has to
fungus, right? Like at the base of any kind of tree, it has those little half rounds.
be. Yeah, it's like a colony, a moving colony. Yeah.
Ooh.
Right.
Hey, Miss J Maps.
Yeah.
Miss J
I saw
Maps
that.
is throwing out the sensing body temperature. That's dope. It bypasses a lot of senses that way.
Gotta get it in the notes right here. Senses body temperature.
I like that. A slug that has colony of fungi all over it. Yes.
Yeah, so
A
it's
transporter.
almost like a snail, but the shell is fungi type. Is the fungi. So this, like, if you hit it, you're in trouble. It's as bad as running into a knight running into a rust monster, because there's just no easy way to approach it. All right, so what is that? That's not thermal sense, is it? It's not tremor sense. What is that? Is there a technical name for that heat sense? Or is that just ultravision, like the old school ultravision?
Yeah, it could be dark vision with a descriptor, or we could make something up, which, let's face it, that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. So it is now thermal vision. Let's just call it that. Thermal.
Yeah, I like it.
60 feet? 30 feet? 30 feet? 30 feet.
Yeah, 30 feet almost is, in a way, a little scarier. Because if you keep
you get
the
up
distance
close
away from it, you're good. But the closer you get, things go wrong. What was that computer game? One of Us or something? What was it? A PlayStation game? And then they had these walking, shambling fungi things. Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
They had that kind of, if you got close, they just went apeshit.
Creature within 30 feet. Within 30 feet. Got it. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Thermal vision.
Hey, big shout out to Rick
sense.
at Goblin Games, too. Thanks for making the show tonight.
Hey, Rick. I didn't see you pop in there. That's awesome. All right, so we got thermal. So that's a start. So I think that this guy's not going to have much in the way of attacks, right? Or at least
I don't know. Misjake's just come up with fungi are puffballs that randomly explode.
Explode into contaminating clouds of clouds, or is it damaging?
Allergens.
Allergens, yeah. It's like when it's a choking attack, right? But the minute you've got that, if you don't make your save, now it's infected you. Now you've got it inside you.
So we
Now
have
it's
a
suffocating.
It's a histamine reaction.
That's awesome. So do we call it allergen? Is that too pedestrian?
It's got to be cooler than that, though.
Good, because I can't spell it apparently. Okay, I got it. All right. Fungi with a spore AoE attack. Yeah, I like that. So its damaging attack is it's choking you, right?
And it just being close to it, it's just like giving off this cloud of little spores.
I'm seeing the possibility too that this really could be a symbiotic life form. So we might have a whole other monster that needs to be developed here that are the spores. Like once they get away from the slug body, they can do their own shit and maybe have some variation. We can get chat to maybe give us 2 or 3 different kinds of spores.
Princess Ultravision. Let's see here. Spores cause a transformation in those that breathe it. Gender reversal. Oh yeah.
I think this definitely needs to be a transformation. Definitely. And
yes.
I mean, if by gender reversal you mean you become this giant walking spore, yes.
I love when statements go that direction. Like, if what you're talking about is something terrible that will give you nightmares, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Jimmy just walked into the middle of this. Let's see.
Our Jimmy?
Yeah. He said, "What the hell's
Sweet.
going on here?" All right, give it.
We're up to no good. Clearly,
give it a bunch of thin tubes that come out of that puff, that puff the spores, like the structures tube worms.
Yeah, he's got Cave Geek. By the way, Cave Geek, thanks for being here, man. He's talking about little sort of wormy things coming out of it that literally go poof, poof, poof on the spores, just blowing them out.
and maybe some of them actually have like little whippy tendrils, like the Thing had when it burst out of the dogs. So if you get close, there's like a little melee attack that it can do to keep you off its flanks, even while it's ranging with its spores.
Ooh, I like that.
The funny thing too, especially the night we did Crocobot, is we should start this as a medium creature at levels CR3. And by the time we're done, it's like 22 feet long and CR11. so let's just say this thing's only like 2 feet across right now, because by the time we hit 10 o'clock, this thing's going to be monstrous.
And I think this type of creature, like if you could probably meet a 2 foot one, that hasn't been around for a long time, right? And you could meet a 10-foot one. That's been around for a while. It's grown. Maybe absorbed a few people.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. So does it create a new one, or does it absorb it and grow larger when it kills a target?
I see it absorbing. Eating. Nutrients. The things that it doesn't infect, it just go ambling off to create others. That may be part of the hive mind. Gentlemen, I want to run this creature so bad right now. We're not even...
That's how I felt about Crocobot.
Oh, God. If you're in the Invictus game at CarryCon coming up, beware.
It's going in. It's going in.
You got to tune out right now. Don't spoil it for yourself.
So I have... this creature's covered... Oh, I got somebody's mic. This creature's covered in a thick coating of spores, or is it these tendrils? So I'm picturing like when it gets hit, then it poofs some of the spores, but it also has... It can use those spores. One of its actions, it can use those spores as an attack as well, right? Is that what we're all saying?
Well, I think, have you ever like seen a rotten log in the forest and it's covered in fungi, covered in it?
Uh-huh.
I almost imagine this could just be covered in fungi, but it could be the ball fungi that like is prone for like a blur. That's technical, by the way. Blur into the word.
Yeah.
But what Cave Geek was talking about earlier was it also has just little thin like worm like tentacles that go purr and that blow them out there. So there could be a combination of these growths on it, almost fungi growths and little worms.
So defensive and offensive.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think also when you strike it, it's not a snail, it's a slug, right? So it doesn't have a shell. So when you strike it, it wobbles and wiggles in a mesmerizing way. So when you strike it, the only analogy I can think of is if I'm running through a sprinkler in a too tight t-shirt, like what all that motion would be. And I think it fits in with the theme of the monster because it's both terrifying but hypnotic. It's hypnotic. You can't look away, but you're repulsed.
Any creature breeds
hypnotic jiggle.
Oh, the Princess Strager said a fascination effect.
Yes. Terrible fungal fascination.
Fungal fascination. All right, I got it. Fungal.
I just like anything with monsters where if you're just looking at it, it can do something to you. I've always liked those gaze attack creatures. Well, it's like a reverse gaze attack. It's not it seeing you; it's you seeing it. And I think that really fits with Cthulhu too. You know, the when you break open the egg and you see the terrible things inside, that's enough. You know, right there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And
what is Chat saying?
Hypnotic jiggle.
Hypnotic jiggle. So not fungal fascination.
Yeah.
I think fungal fascination is good.
Hypnotic jiggle is far better. It's far better.
Got it.
And hey, for those people who want to see me record that video, you just make a note of it in the chat. Come June, I'll be out in the backyard.
All right, let's get some crucial stats here. So we got armor class, pretty easy to hit, I would think. So we're doing 5th edition. If we're talking 5th edition, I'm thinking pretty easy, right? Like slow moving 10, 8 even. I mean, we want it to be hit, don't we?
Yeah, it almost wants to be hit. I would say an 8. Yeah.
8.
It's not trying to dodge out of the way on this thing.
Okay. What about hit points? We don't want it to be too fragile, but I mean, it's just going to reconstitute.
2 or 3 million.
Million, got it. Okay.
No, I don't know. I have actually only played 5e a few times, and never as a GM. So, I mean, do they still have like black pudding-like effects where like stuff divides?
Yeah, black pudding still divides under lightning bolt, for example. Ooh, that's a good idea.
Like, you know, could this thing, regardless of what hit points and hit dice we give it, can we give it something where sharp weapons actually just divide it, and it's actually extremely damage resistant to them?
Mm-hmm. I like that. Let's see here.
This is shaping up. I love the art. What's going on here? This looks really good.
I fully agree. For those of you who aren't paying special attention or didn't see it from the very beginning, Phil Stone, that dubious-looking motherfucker with the pipe, he is he's apparently besotted over his pad here of paper, and he's busting out or he's actually working in Photoshop, I think.
No, it's actually Clip Studio Paint.
Oh, you know, Frank House always tells me about that. He says that's super cool.
Yeah, he really likes it. Yep.
I'm just an old dog. I don't want to learn. I love Photoshop, and like so far, it does everything I need.
So I got damage immune from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks, rather. Vulnerability to fire or acid. That's probably pretty good. We definitely want it to be. We definitely don't want it to be completely overpowering.
No, I think that's appropriate, right? You've got to just think it through. You've got this big, huge slug fungi thing coming at you. Hit it with a Molotov. I mean, I'm in Call of Cthulhu mode right now, but yeah.
Fire and acid, or just fire? I think fire and acid.
Fire and acid, I think, are good, but fire has a better effect of actually destroying the spores in the air.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think we can capture that.
Yeah, like incinerating them.
Right. And acid doesn't.
So if it's killed with fire or just a fire attack, let's say if it's killed with fire.
Ooh, Mischief just said, does it have a flammable slime trail?
Oh, cold and salt vulnerabilities. Ooh.
Oh, salt. Salt could be good. Salt could be good. Maybe salt instead of acid.
Yeah, I think salt instead of acid. That's a great suggestion.
Adventurers are now going to start carrying around their small sacks full of salt. We need to name this thing. Does anybody in chat have a name for this thing yet?
Yeah,
Jim.
Come on, chat. You got some Jim. Did someone say Jim? Oh no! It's a Jim! I was about to go, Jim's in me! Then, oh, no.
Glug.
Fungal.
Undulating Gus.
Look.
Ooh, undulating Gus is kind of creepy and lovely.
I actually like that one, yeah.
I like that too. Undulating Gus. Undulungus.
Ooh.
Undulungus.
Glug.
Kind of sticks with the Roman theme there.
Yeah, that's what I'm vibing on.
Maximus Undulungus.
Max Undulungus gigantus.
Ooh. Longest dickus.
Biggest dickus.
And with that, it always comes back all the time.
She had a name, you know.
Continentia buttocks.
So there's no sand loss at this point, is it? When the professor says, "Oh no, it's."
All right. Max. What was it? Max.
Undulungus.
We've got a Gilug from Mischief Maps. We've got Fungal Fascination from King Bashman. Undulating Gus not a bad one, from Cave Geek Art. Crypto Spore from Phantom Gen. Splorg from
Ooh,
Chaotic.
Splorg's pretty good.
And we got Slittic from Princess Strager. All good names. Good. Thank you for the suggestions. They're great.
Yeah, for sure. Chat is rocking it tonight. Thanks everybody who showed up.
So if we're talking about, all right, I've got an idea. So maybe this is, I like Slithic. Splorgus. Ooh, Splorgus. That's pretty good.
I like the Undulungus Maximus to be like the Latin translation. You know, where so what? You know, oh no, it's an undulating gus. The Undulungus Maximus.
Yes, Undulungus
What my mom does every time she's walking me around the garden. You know, it's a peony and and I'm like, okay, you know, yes, that's the Latin underneath it.
So now we need, yes, exactly. If it's in parentheses, you know it's in Latin.
All right, so is it?
Who is that?
Splorgus?
Cave Geek? Good call, Cave Geek.
Scientific name, that's the one, not Latin name. Scientific name, you're perfect.
So what's the
Splorgus?
Splorgus? Do we like that?
Matt, you even got italics. Bro.
Discovered by some Roman. All right, hit points. I didn't finish this out here. So we need stats. It's not very strong. 8. So think back to your D&D days, Alyssa. Not very strong, probably. We don't really care about strength because it's going to...
I know, I think it's more strong than it's dexterous. I think if this thing was on you, you're not going to push it off very easily, you know? I'm thinking that its strength... its strength could be in the region of, like, yeah, exactly. You know, if it gets hold of you, it's got you. But that's not what it's really about, because at this point, it's already got on you.
That was the technical term I was waiting for, was the play.
Yes.
Dexterity low, yeah. Con.
Now wait, hold up though. It has to fire its spores. So do we want to hamstring it in the dex zone for ranged attacks?
But is it an area of effect?
Yeah, it's an area of effect. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fuck it.
Yeah. So we don't give a flip.
We don't.
Right. So is it
Wow. Everyone's going in high with the cons here.
low? And
Yeah, I think it has to be tough.
Like-
Yep, it has to be tough.
high charisma. Yes.
Hey, if you've never taken an opportunity to talk with a Splorgus and really understand where it's coming from, I don't think you can make comments about its charisma.
I just heard you as a player playing a professor type trying to explain this to me, and I'm like, oh.
I think we all just need to settle down and listen to what this Splorgus is telling us.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah.
You've never. Hold on here.
Charisma is 19, because if the spores don't get you, it will just seduce you. No.
Oh my god, these little tentacular spike balls, spore projectors coming out of its mouth are fucking killer.
Yeah, this thing is killing me right now.
Yeah, I think it need, and if I can make a suggestion, even more of the stringy between the lips bits, that horrible stretchy web-like mouth.
Yeah, it's got the cilia. You got to get the cilia.
Yeah, Phil, draw faster.
Dance, monkey!
Here's some pepper pieces.
Draw my fucking picture! Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. She wants it. I'm a good man.
20 con counter OAC. 20 con. Ooh. That makes it pretty.
Hey,
scary.
Army Troy. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Be sillier. I don't know how much sillier we could be, quite frankly. But
Oh, Miss J just asked an interesting question about it. She said, is there any attack that actually stronger?
I just don't. This guy doesn't need it, does? I do like the telepathy suggestion. There was a telepathy suggestion there. I wasn't thinking this guy.
Yeah, Princess Strega.
Was smart, but
I'm thinking it definitely has some kind of empathic or not empathic, but like connection with its spores, right? With its growth that is created.
Maybe it's a combat benefit. It can sense what you're about to do, like your intentions, not necessarily your thoughts.
Yeah, there's something to that for sure. But we don't want to necessarily increase its AC. I mean, we want it to get. We want the party to be at odds with how am I going to beat this thing up when it's just going to.
We have to give it a shit ton of hit points. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I like Box Office Jack saying danger sense. That maybe is what I'm talking about.
Danger sense. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Valor 2017. We're 5th ed, but it's agnostic. Yeah. In the end, we can make it be whatever we want, but we're just giving it some 5e stats to bang off of.
Yeah, Mr. Val, I'm going to run this thing at Gary Khan in Call of Cthulhu. That is guaranteed.
And I'm going to be there to see it.
Yeah, we're streaming it. And I'm going to kill players with this thing.
So, okay, so the telepathy could be danger sense straight from the barbarian almost. It gives them uncanny dodge type effect. So they have advantage on dexterity saving throws against effects they can sense in this case, such as traps or spells. They can't be blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. I think that's okay. Is that in theme?
14 strength, 8 dex, 20 con, 6 int, 10 whiz, 2 charisma.
Yeah, he's all over the map.
The 2 charisma is, except to weird GMs, 18.
Yes. He's an 18 in my book, Alyssa. He's an 18 in my book. I love this little guy.
Yeah, I do too.
Hey, somebody made a comment about the bludgeoning. Army Troy was saying its gelatinous body could make it damage resistant to bludgeoning weapons. Maybe bludgeoning weapons are what activate its hypnotic jiggle.
So that's really good. So it's not an action even at that point. If you hit it, it's a free action.
It's a reaction. It's a reaction. It's a free
reaction. Yeah.
What do you think about that, Army Troy? It'll start jiggling and wiggling.
Not only jiggling and wiggling, but also all sorts of spores and stuff are going off at that point.
Yep. Army Troy is tracking exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
The spores being released.
He's there.
So a lot of these folks are from your tribe, Alyssa?
A good bunch of them. Army Troy, no. Army Troy, get on my channel, dude. What
yeah.
But no, there's a few not, but a good bunch are, and they're representing, so it's much appreciated.
Yeah, right on. We love seeing people from other communities come share our space, and y'all are welcome to come check us out on Wizards of the Couch, first and third Mondays of every month as well. So we'll be right here in the same spot, 9 o'clock, doing just like background talk about the industry and interviewing people. In fact, I think, who do we have this next week? Matt.
Shane Hensley from Savage Worlds.
Right on.
And Deadlands. Yep.
And the topic this next Monday is going to be beyond D&D. Like, what other RPGs should people be playing and enjoying? This huge wave of new players we've gotten in the last few years. Many of them don't look beyond D&D, and I think it's important that they do, because there's lots of kick-ass, like Call of Cthulhu,
and Deadlands,
and Savage Worlds, and even more obscure shit that I like.
Actually, so everyone that does follow my channel, hit these guys up with a follow. Just hit it. Doesn't cost you anything just to follow these guys. They do a great channel.
Oh,
that is lovely,
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
All right, so let me finish up this incinerated thing. So if the Splorgus is killed, is killed with an attack that deals.
Oh, where are we going with this?
Fire damage. This is just the language to say that the spores are dead.
Yeah, killed by a fireball. Then
the remaining remaining spores, I guess. Remaining.
Now, I still think, while Matt is catching up with his typing there, I still think that we need a table, because a really cool monster has a table in its entry. And I think we need a table that says the types of spores that you can encounter in a Splorgus. And if we came up with at least, hey, Alyssa, wow, that is super sweet. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Alyssa. A lot of gifted tier 1 subs. That's just great.
Oh wow, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome.
People need to be watching this channel. Come on.
Yeah, we've got some new programming month that we can't really talk about yet because we haven't worked out all the details. Quite frankly, we don't know what we need to know to tell you what you need to know. But we will have more content coming out on the channel in our roll up to our GaryCon attendance. If you get a chance, go over to Tabletop Events, and we'll post a link at some point. Maybe, I don't know if Matt has that link or not, but if he does, check us out, because not only will we be there, which is, let's face it, small potatoes, but titans like Alyssa will be there running Call of Cthulhu Invictus and many other interesting games, and you got to come check it out. So.
Mm-hmm.
With this monster is in every game I'm playing from now on. Just so you know.
Yeah, there's a sub game now in every one of Alyssa's. Where's the Splorgus?
Where's the Splorgus? Oh no! It's really the Splorgus. Who's gonna die?
Hey, Praetor's Rejects just put up that link to our events at GaryCon, and everybody, if you haven't been to Lake Geneva at the ass end of winter, then you have not in Wisconsin.
So Princess has suggested an interesting idea. She's saying, what if it was super fast, 120-foot movement? But what if it was a variation of that, where it could literally go and like move itself quickly that way, maybe in a limited way?
Yeah. So the which could be coupled with the what were you talking about earlier, Danny? The thing. Kind of
being able to reach that distance anyway.
Yeah.
That it's almost like a spring attack, isn't it? Yeah, you're over there, and it's like now it's on you.
Hey, maybe so it doesn't get overused. Bear with me here. It's linked to the hypnotic jiggle. Once the thing gets jiggling, then it suddenly goes.
Yeah,
and it can leap around.
Yeah.
Mystery says like an inchworm.
You like that sound effect, man?
So that's. I've got the hypnotic jiggle right now responding to a bludgeoning attack. I think what Princess is talking about would be like it's almost its ambush attack. But I do like that it's limited. So maybe it's, what did we call that the other day? We had a term for that. Maybe somebody else can help me with the 5e terminology. But it reloads or refreshes on a 5 or a 6 on a d6.
Yep. Well, look at the last two comments.
Thanks, Mr. Valor. Recharge.
Yeah, and Princess Strega said, link it to hypnotic jiggle. So that way we just don't have it be a separate thing, and it only happens when something else happens.
I love it.
The recharge is a great idea, though, Mr. Valor. That's more things need recharge. In fact, I might go so far as to say almost everything needs to have an ability that's outsized for itself, so that that goblin can like do that whoop ass attack, but he only gets it once or twice a combat, and that's it. And it's random. Maybe he doesn't get it at all.
Goo. I want to call it goo something. Goo.
Is this the thing where it can make a quick attack?
Goo stretch, goo. Oh yeah.
Come on, chat. Goo what? Goo
stretchy slime, slimy stretch.
Oh, I like that, KG. So what if it doesn't really have much of what if it doesn't really have much of an attack at all? But it's
Well, I don't think it does.
Are like reactions, yeah.
I mean, its presence near you is bad. If you try to keep it away, it reacts to that.
Ooh, I do like Cave Geek's idea.
Yep, I like that a lot.
They're all reaction.
I mean, it's
basically
like Alyssa said, you don't want it near you because you're still going to get infected if you're just standing around it. But if you try to attack it, you're in trouble.
So that means that, so essentially, if I'm a GM or a player, here's how I'm going to view it. As a GM, I'm going to use it as a, what is that called where you deny access to an area? There's a military term for this. Where like your weapon just basically denies access to a zone or an area.
Sure.
So if you could put this thing in a place where the players are forced to interact with it, then it's bad. But if they can just let it go by, then if they can learn to ignore it, or not put it in a place where they have to fight it, then it's fine. Oh my God.
To some extent. You still got to worry about the trail and the spores, I think. But yeah, if you go against all
the trail, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, good. Yeah,
If
you go against all adventurer habits and don't attack it, then you might be okay. But otherwise, you're going to really regret it.
But with its heat sense, it's going to be following you.
Yes.
Potentially.
Trying to infect you.
Right.
Goo lunge, goopy glorb.
Goopy glorb.
Goopy glorb. Alright, so it's goopy glorb attack. Goopy glorb lunge. Gloopy glorb. Just gloopy glorb. That's hard to say 5 times.
I get a copy of this, right? I mean, this is being drawn right here because this is going in every game I ever run ever. This is.
Hey, Matt, it occurred to me that at the end of the show, we when we do the closeout in the future, we should put up a quick little gallery of the monsters so far.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, yep. I
do a little slideshow, man.
Yep, I've got I think Crocobot on the front rotation, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
I was super impressed by the iClass though. I have to say I didn't take part in that show, and when I saw it there are not many monsters anymore that when I see them I actually go, "Huh?" and that one definitely did that for me. I was like, "Wow, that is really." I had to stare at it for a little while.
Thank you. It's a target with its thermal sense. It can. You want to say that's like?
Oh, 6? Box office says, "I now want to play a lizard man Splorgus herder."
That's awesome. Yes. I can totally see that in the Underdark. Yep.
A scruffy looking Splorgus herder.
Yeah, it's immune to its spores, so it I don't know, or maybe it gets high off them.
There you go. Make it addicts.
With its
who harvest these things.
It can. All right, let me.
How are you drawing by command? I mean, what the hell is going on right here? My brain is not computing what you're doing right now. This is so good.
They keep telling me to do a map live, and I do a map live. I don't think I have the thing to be able to do that.
No, I definitely don't. No, this is good. This is good.
All right, I'm up in the.
I'm always
to 60 feet. And then
I'm always amazed by sketch people, though, who can just sketch. I just think it's a true gift.
It can, as a free action, when a Splorgus senses a target with its thermal sense, it can lunge at the target with a reach of 60 feet. As a free action. Ooh, that's dangerous.
That's nasty. Last Laugh says, Squabu Splorgus Shepherd.
I have no fucking clue what that means, but we should use it.
It's all going into the lore.
It's going to have its own book.
Look at this thing. It's so nasty looking.
I know it's old hat to a lot of people, but I have to say that what we are doing right now is still completely amazing to me. That we can just come together and goof off and make something cool, and other people will appreciate it, and then they will make cool things, and then we will appreciate those things.
Amen to that,
I
my friend.
100% agree.
It's unbelievable where we've come. That's for sure.
It discharges a cloud of allergens. We still need a name for that. I still got it as allergens. In a 10-foot radius.
Yeah, come on, chat. Cloud of allergens. Come on, what is this thing doing? Cloud of allergens? No. Give us a phrase.
Yeah.
Spore,
Yeah, I still think we should.
Spore splurt is better than allergens.
Spore spew.
Ooh.
There we go. I like that. Spore spew.
Yeah.
But here again, I know
That's
I'm
how you
sounding
get
like a broken
BD.
record now, but here's where we need like different spores so GMs have choices on what spores they want to use. I think that little table I've been on about goes right under spore spew. It's and any spores that are generated by this thing, you have to roll on the table to see what you get.
Okay, so the spores don't necessarily do one thing or another. It's
They can do the thing that's written in them, but then we can just have a little alt table underneath that says once your players have gotten used to this version of Splorgus, you can ask Mike Ocelius from the first edition for first century BC. He'll tell you all about it. In his book,
that guy.
in his book, Oh Splorgus, My Splorgus. The definitive work on Maximus Ungulungus.
I do like anaphylactic spores, but I think spore
Yep.
spews has more charisma.
I think that's just the effect of being in the cloud. And then if you need something, you could have an additional effect. So maybe that D6
Did you
isn't
say
really
eat
different.
something? Eat? What?
need something.
Oh, okay.
If you feel like you're boring your players by forcing them to suffocate, you can add something else into the mix.
Okay. I was like, who's eating this thing?
Well, the lizard men apparently.
Yeah, if you pickled it, it might not be half bad.
Oh,
It's in the book. It's all detailed in the book. What did I just eat? A guide to spores of the Underdark.
Yeah, Miss J Maps, that's exactly right. I totally agree. There's
All
been
right.
several times randomly determined.
What's the hypnotic jiggle do?
Didn't we just say it does? We could just make it very simple that it does whatever that second level mesmerizing spell is, daze, or it just affects you with the condition of confused or something.
would that maybe put you at disadvantage or something for a
I
round?
think that's exactly what it does. I think you can move, but you can't take complex actions.
Did I just actually come up with a 5e
did.
mechanic
I think
all
you just
on my own?
I think you just.
All right,
did.
that's it. Cut her mic. Cut her mic.
I've been paying attention to my games.
Somewhere in the depths of the Vatican, the Cthulhu Illuminati is zooming in on this, and they're like, "Okay, she's out." Confusion. That's too much. I think I'm looking for the confused
Any
condition.
creature who's within 10 feet of the Splorgus must make a DC 12 saving throw or be
Hey. We had Wolfgang Bauer on the show on our last episode talking about his new Tome of Beasts 2, which I believe is still kickstarting. So
is, yeah.
everybody who feels the love for Wolfgang Bauer that I do, and his mass compendiums of monsters should get over there and kickstart the shit out of that thing, because that is a quality product, and it brings a lot of value to GMs who can use its monsters nobody's ever heard of. It's just staggeringly cool. But I'll bet you dimes to donuts he does not design monsters like this. I wanted to send him a quick chat saying you should check out the show tonight, except I was like, oh god, he's gonna think we are just rank amateurs at this monster creating thing. No, I kid. Honestly, I think like this is completely valid. Do it however you need to do it.
Send him a link to this one. I think you'd be impressed by
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I really do.
All
But he
right.
can't have it.
Right. Nope. This is you had your shot, Wolfgang. Your name is already Wolfgang Bauer. I don't owe you any favors. Okay, you were blessed from birth with this name. So,
if we're gonna try your analogy of a too tight, too wet T-shirt running through the sprinklers, I think it would make you either nauseous or horny. Either way, not at 100%.
Cave Geek,
Namaste.
namaste.
Yeah, Kiki, don't be bringing your channel over here.
We already,
Yeah, that's good.
We already turned down the charisma 20, so. All right, stunned is stunned too.
I think so. Did you look up the conditions list?
Yeah, that's what I've got right now. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Poisoned is not. I mean, it doesn't really fit, but the effect is what we want. It's disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. So I guess you just say we just say dazed and call it a new condition that's not a 5.
Or what about charmed? Creature can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with harmful effects. So it's eliminating combatants from its jiggliness is eliminating animosity. Just like my running through the sprinkler. All who see it feel.
And that's a particularly powerful one because we're charmed virtually, and you haven't even done it yet.
Yes,
right,
exactly so. Exactly so.
And you had Princess Stringer before saying she would pay to see it.
Yeah, well, come June.
Very
when
powerful.
it's very snowy where I'm at right now. Although it would make a hell of a Valentine's gift.
Oh! You
I sent you a video, honey.
opportunity.
I shared a video to you, honey. What is it up? You'll see. What it turned out to be was a video of me catching pneumonia.
And that was his swan song.
And that was the last monster he created was this Splorgus.
Jeez.
I would be happy. I'll tell you, goddammit, I would be happy to be the last thing that I ever.
All right, so this dude moves pretty slow without the gloopy glorb, or without the gloopy glorb. Oh wait, I forgot hypnotic jiggle. Jiggle also resets the gloopy glorb, the goopy glorb.
I like how some of these things interweave with each other. It's interesting. Just to take a step back and treat creating monsters for a role-playing game as a serious enterprise, which, let's face it, that's a stretch. I like the idea of the interplay between these abilities. It's very, very slick, very cool.
Yeah, I do too. This rounded out really nice.
So what happens if you shoot this thing with an arrow?
Splorgus synergy.
Dead.
You don't get it back.
No, you do
Or I should maybe more properly say you don't want it back. No arrows can be recovered from successful attacks against targets.
So, Alyssa, you talked earlier about having a dividing or dissecting attack of some sort, so like slashing weapons.
Slashing would definitely divide it, yeah.
When a Spore.
I like to think of monsters. I like to think of things that be used against monsters too. That people more. I don't know how to even put this. Again, the rare loss for words, but like a lot of my players won't fire lightning bolts into combat. They won't do things like that. So having it have some susceptibilities to things or some advantages against things that are more likely to be used in a close combat would be, because I think that's what happens with this thing, right? It's mostly close combat.
Yeah, that's certainly what it's trying to do. I picture it once it has the target suffocated, then it just kind of goes over it and consumes it.
You see, and I'm kind of in Call of Cthulhu mode right now, and I'm thinking my players are going to open up gunfire and stuff. I'm thinking about making it immune to impaling weapons. just flip, and they just get absorbed. They're gone, or they do minimal damage.
How does the mimic? How does the gel cube do that? I think in that case, the piercing weapon just sticks to it or something.
By the way, the plural of Splorgus is now Splorguy.
With two eyes?
Okay.
With two eyes?
Two eyes. Yeah, it is now.
Yep. Splorgii maximosia. All right, so let's see here.
So you think?
Hey, how about this? It does the engulf. It does the engulf ability. So one idea that you can have is any weapon, it gets a save. It saves for no damage. So if everybody's firing arrows at it, it gets to make saves, and if it makes those saves, they do nothing. But sometimes they might. I don't know. I'm so far outside the box at this point. I just can't.
I dig it. I dig it.
So what CR are we thinking for this thing? I didn't notice that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is gonna take some gonculating.
Okay, good. I will leave all the gonculation to you.
All right, I feel like we missed something though.
My
what
God,
did we miss?
Phil, real quick before you get super nutty again, zoom back out, fans here. That is fucking nuts. So real quick, hey, Phil, can I interrupt your technique to ask about your technique?
Yeah.
What are the X's?
That is an old school comic book thing. So when you would pencil out a comic book page, and you didn't want to smudge all that pencil by penciling it all in black, you would put an X in there for the inker, so that shape was completely jet black.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense.
I've had that habit for 28 years now.
Right on. Cool.
Phil, can I ask you a question, Phil? Are you going to color this?
I do I ink it, and then I put a grayscale to it.
If I paid you, would you color this for me?
No, that's why I just hit you up with a friend request, because like I did with Kevin, I think it was the last one.
Yeah, Kevin Watson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kevin Watson, the Dark Naga, yeah.
Yeah, I sent him a Cracklebot, so I'll be sending you guys one too.
I might want to pay you to color this, man. I'm just saying. Or get your colorist to do it, however you work. This is good. This makes my GM-ness go.
I did a thing years ago. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna say, let's. We're over our hour here. I mean, which is fine. We're having a good time. I'm not worried about it. But what do we got for an action? Like I picture some sort of this. What was the technical term, Alyssa? The sploof attack. I picture like a 10-foot whip type thing, right? It's like a 10-foot.
The splah.
The splah, yeah. Is that what we want to call it? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna call it splah.
Oh, we got a raid going on, gents, with a party 26.
Hey.
Ooh, what's going on? Hey, Lord Samba's Raiders. Right on. Hey, thanks everybody for stopping in.
Yeah.
We'll welcome you as you come in. Hey, Lord Gazumbo, good evening.
Welcome to the Splorgus. With its splah attack.
So to catch the new folks up who just got here, we're designing the Splorgus, which is the Ungulungus Maximus. Stats are there, and we've been talking for an hour now with Alyssa and Matt and myself, and Phil's been drawing, and this thing is terrible and twisted and bizarre. All the things that we love in monsters.
Reach 10 feet. All right, 10 feet. I think this is its only action, right? Everything else is a reaction. One target. Hit.
That all reactions thing, that's really, I don't think it has to be all, but I really love that. I'm starting to do that in some of my games where I give way more reactions to the monsters so that when people are fighting them, it's much more of a chaotic melee.
Well, and this, I see players too, like hunkered down, looking around a corner and seeing one of these. and like not wanting to disturb it, like trying to keep away from it, like get your lights out, and that causes fear. It's different. You try to avoid combat, and that's great.
Right. The avoidance of a thing can be almost more exciting because one misstep could put you in a combat that you don't want to be in.
Right, because any attack on this thing, it's going to react to it.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking a lot lately too, Matt, about playing some Five Torches Deep.
Yep.
If this is not the fucking poster child monster for Five Torches Deep, I don't know what is.
And Kate Geek, to answer that question, I will tell you a Gary Con because I'm putting this monster in my game. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to figure it out. Right, and by the time you've disturbed it, it's too late.
Right. So you can try to ignore it, but it wants to, even though it doesn't have a damaging attack, it's still going to try and infect you once it senses you with its thermal sense. So it's going to chase you. You can't just sit there and let it crawl by. But if you do attack it, you're also in trouble. This is brilliant, in my opinion.
Can it climb walls and stuff?
Ooh, climb. I didn't even put... Yeah, of course it can. Climb.
Spider slug.
Climb 20. Is that too much? No, that's not too much. Or maybe climb 10. Yeah, climb 10.
Hey, King Bashman. Nice to see you here tonight. We have a friend in chat from Two Kings, and
hey, Jeff.
Yeah, another great bunch of primarily Randy and Jeff, but they have an associated group of people that I'm over at Two Kings and produce really great stuff. Among that, games for kids, and someone who has kids, I appreciate having content people that don't necessarily want to play my version of an adult game.
All right, Princess. So we didn't actually finish Spore Spew. So is that paralyzed if no save, exhausted if they do save? I feel like that's a thing. Exhausted is a 5e condition. Where was that? Where'd my conditions go? 5e. Yeah, there we go.
I know you've been here, Bashman. I was just taking a chance to call you out right now because of the love.
Oh, yeah.
King Bashman literally just joined us. He's lying. He's lying to you.
So, Princess, are you thinking I think if it fails a save, it's paralyzed, right? And then that's when the thing goes and just starts dissolving it and increasing its own size. If it does save, though, I think you're still you gain a level of exhaustion. And exhaustion, Alyssa, in 5th edition is 6 levels. So first level is disadvantage on ability checks. By level 2, your speed is halved. 3 is disadvantage on attacks and saves. 4 is hit points halved. 5 is reduced speed to 0. 6 is death. So it doesn't.
I think that's appropriate. That seems like a big, huge, like creature just absorbing you, right?
Yes, I think that is amazing. We don't even have to worry about damage for this guy. He just exhausts you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love it. All right.
Yeah. In fact, he hasn't got any damage, has he?
He does no damage. Nope, no damage.
So, hey, I'm going to bring this up in my UI over here. One of our folks just brought up a table. I don't know if we're past being able to use this or not, but I'm going to share it real quick here just so y'all can see it. This is coming from Jeff over at Two Kings. This is his Splorgus Spore table, and this is what it does. Sorry, I'm going to move it and stop.
There you go.
Yeah, is that flipped? I need to flip that.
No, it's right. It's right.
Is it? Okay, good.
Paralyzed creature is incapacitated. Automatically fails strength saves. Attack rolls are halved. What is the... Somebody quick. What's the...
I haven't heard as...
Old person 5e. All right. So they get I think they get a save at the end of... At the end of each turn... Are paralyzed. are paralyzed. Yes, those in the cloud are paralyzed. At the end of each turn, the target makes another saving throw on success. Okay, got it.
I'm just having to move it so people on the stream can.
Yep. Constitution saving throw on success. The effect ends on the target. Awesome. This is a long description for Spore Spew. If the target makes their saving throw, they instead gain 1 level of exhaustion. Why does that not look right? Okay, I had it right. All right. Exhaustion.
You happy now, Bashman? Oh yeah, I guess it is pretty small. Nobody can read that. Matt, why didn't you just say, "Damn, that's dumb"?
What? I'm trying.
Nobody can. No, I'm sorry. Nobody can see it actually on the thing because it's so small. I wasn't thinking.
Oh no, it's fine.
That's what I got to tell my wife tomorrow for Valentine's Day. She gets it every year.
I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, folks, this has been amazing. Every week, I think that we can't top last week, and I think we did it with Alyssa's help. Danny and Phil, that was fantastic. So we've got the Splorgus, also more scientifically known as the Undulungus maximus. It's a medium or larger sized plant. So the backstory, we'll talk about how it grows, but it was discovered by some Roman because we had some backstory in the early beginning.
I can help you with that later.
With an armor class of 8, we want it to get hit, 85 hit points, speed of 20, climb speed of 10. Its damage vulnerabilities are fire and salt because nobody carries salt, and that will be very fun. Damage immunities, it's immune to poison and psychic, bludgeoning, and slashing from non-magical attacks. It's immune to all piercing attacks. Condition immunities, blinded, deafened, and frightened. It has thermal senses, which we made up tonight. It's into 60 foot, which basically says it can detect the heat of creatures within 60 feet. Languages, none, but I put limited telepathy. We probably should expand on that a little bit, but I guess basically it talks with it. We decided it was going to talk with its thralls. Now for the special abilities, we've got coming out in front with its hypnotic jiggle. As aptly described by Danny in the beginning of the show. As a reaction, when the Splorgus is hit with a bludgeoning attack, the creature undulates hypnotically. Any creature who's within 10 feet of the Splorgus must make a DC 12 saving throw. Oh, DC 12 wisdom saving throw. Hold on. Or is considered charmed by the Splorgus for 1 round. Hypnotic Jiggle lasts until the Splorgus' next turn. And Hypnotic Jiggle resets the Gloopy Glorb. Gloopy Glorb or Goopy? Goopy Glorb. Goopy Glorb with a recharge of 5 or 6. When the Splorgus senses a target with its thermal sense, it can lunge at the target with a reach of 60 feet as a free action. Whether or not it hits its target, it discharges a cloud of spore spew in a 10-foot radius. This ability recharges on a 5 or 6. Incinerated, which is its one weakness to fire. If the Splorgus is killed with a fire attack, all remaining spores in the creature are destroyed. Split, just like the black puddings of yore. If it's hit with subjected to slashing damage, it can split into 2 Splorgy with at least 10. If it has at least 10 hit points left, each Splorgy has hit points equal to half the original. New Splorgy are 1 size category smaller. Spore Spew. This one's a mouthful. The creature is covered in a thick coating of spores, as depicted here on our screen. When struck in melee, a cloud of spores explodes in a 5-foot radius. Any creature in the cloud must make a DC 15 Constitution save. I need to check on that. It's got a 20 con. Yeah. If they fail, those in the cloud are paralyzed. I think it actually is 16. At the end of each of its turns, a target can make another Constitution saving throw. Constitution. I spelled it wrong. On success, the effect ends. If the target makes their saving throw, they instead gain 1 level of exhaustion, which is going to have a cumulative effect. So one way or another, if you're not taking this guy out, it's going to get you. And even if you try to run, it's going to goopy glorb you.
Yep.
It's melee attack. It's melee attack. It's 1 attack. Does not even damage you, but it does have a 10-foot reach, and it does its Spore spew ability when it hits. This is awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
This is
it's
fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic, guys. I mean, I'm even putting this in Cthulhu Invictus right now, and I'm like, my players aren't going to have flaming arrows or anything. You might have a torch, so run up to it with your torch and see what happens. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
This is really good. Phil, thank you very much. Dan,
Thank you,
this is
guys.
great. Yeah, this is.
hey, let's zoom out once. Let's zoom out to a nice spot and just take a look at the glory of Spore.
Splorgus.
There is Splorgus. You do not want to run. I particularly like the droopy sacks on the side. On the side. I feel like I'm following a Ford Bronco through the middle of Wisconsin.
I wasn't going to mention them, but apparently I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I'm almost biologically required to mention things like that.
And yes, to answer the questions in chat, I think sea salt or salt water rather, and even the sea salt ice cream would probably affect it. Yes.
Or caramel, or salted caramel.
Salted caramel. You should carry a cup of those in your belt pouch. Throw it right at it. It'll be fine.
Light them on fire and throw it at them like little flaming salted caramels. I love it.
This has been Whose Monster Is It Anyway? We are a weekly show on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central. Catch us next week with Phil and I at least, and we will again see if we can outdo the Splorgus Undulungus Maximus. Alyssa, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thanks for bringing your crowd over here. It was very fantastic.
Thank you.
The chat was very
Thanks
lively.
to everybody. Yeah.
Danny and Phil, we will chat later. And to that, it is good night.
Night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.